Another brutal loss for the Cubs. Really tough after having the lead and Jameson Taillon keeping the Pirates off balance. The bullpen comes in and they can't take care of business. And the Cubs end their 6-game winning streak when it looked like it was going to go to 7 and they were going to be knocking on the door of the Atlanta Braves, who are currently in a tailspin. The Cubs miss an opportunity in their opener against the Pirates. We're going to talk about that, today's game, and more. Welcome to the Cubs Baseball channel. Like and subscribe. Give us a thumbs up. Thanks for hanging out. I know it was a tough loss, but you got to pick up the pieces and keep on trucking. Let's talk some Cubs baseball. Well, the Cubs, they got through August hot as a firecracker, but now in September, not a great start as the Cubs blow one to the Pirates. They had a 3-0 lead late. Jorge Lopez, who's been so good, kind of coming back from an injury, and he gives up a 3-run homer and then a solo home run to McCutchen. Cubs fall behind, Pirates add a run, and they beat the Cubs 5-3. But I think the worst part about this is the Cubs had won 6 straight games. They were going for 7, and they need every single win they can get if they're going to get back into the race. And they had gotten to within 3 games of Atlanta, who is having a ton of trouble right now. A win in that game last night would have been absolutely enormous. Definitely a must-win for the Cubs. I mean, there's no other way to put it. And the problem is that they've blown too many of these type of games from last night this year. And it's why the Cubs are outside looking into the playoff picture. Now, the Atlanta Braves off, so the Cubs 3.5 games back for that last wild card spot. And all of a sudden, the Mets are right there on Atlanta's tail. So it's going to be interesting to see how this goes, but it would have been a great night for the Cubs. They could have gotten to within 2.5 had they been able to pull it off. And one of the problems with this team has been the bullpen. The bullpen's actually been a lot better lately, but last night's game certainly cost the Cubs. And it's hard for me to sit here and really get on Jorge Lopez. I mean, you know that he's been banged up, pitched anyway. He's been so good since coming over from the Mets. And the lead was gone so fast, those home runs. I mean, like you just blinked and there was a 3-run lead gone. Cubs could have scored earlier in the game. One of the biggest plays last night that I really feel like is indicative of where the Cubs are right now was Pete Crow-Armstrong beating that throw to second base to keep the inning alive, and then Ian Happ knocking him in as part of a 2-run hit. I thought that was going to be the play that sent the Cubs to victory. Big news, though, is that Justin Steele was scratched from today's start with elbow soreness, so he won't pitch. And it was supposed to be Justin Steele against Paul Skeens. Instead, the Cubs will send Kyle Hendricks on the mound at 3-10 with a 6.75 ERA against Paul Skeens, who is one of the front runners to win the NL Rookie of the Year. 8-2 with a 2.23 ERA for Skeens. Jackson Merrill of the Padres, the other guy that's kind of right up there neck and neck to be the National League Rookie of the Year. And also, don't forget about Shota Imanaga. Would have loved to have seen Skeens against Imanaga, but Hendricks in, and you wonder the severity of Steele's scratch. I mean, is it, we just, hey, elbow soreness, precautionary, take him out. Cubs play the Pirates at 6:40 Central Time. And the Cubs continue to struggle against the NL Central for whatever reason. 20-27 against the Central, trying to figure out how to make things work. And when this season is all said and done, one of the things that they're going to look back on is the fact that they haven't won against the teams in their own division. And you don't play the teams in your own division as much as you used to, but these are still matchups that you have often. And for whatever reason, the Cubs just continue to struggle against those teams in their division, 7 games under 500. This is one of the worst losses. And of course, the Pirates, they had that just debacle against the Cubs last week. They had the big 10-7 lead, 10-3 lead, and they blew it, and they lost 14-10 to the Cubs, but couldn't find that magic in last night's win. So the Cubs and the Pirates will go at it again. But I guess this is just kind of how this season is gone. The minute that you feel really good about the direction of this team, something happens and they take a step back. Now, like I said before, 3.5 games back of the wild card isn't the end of the road. They can still win the series, but they've got to win tonight's game and tomorrow's game, and then all of a sudden the schedule starts to get tough again for the Cubs. They've kind of beaten up, which is a good thing. I don't think there's any problem with that, but they've beaten up on the teams that haven't been any good, and being the Pirates. But now all of a sudden you got the Yankees coming in, and then you got the Dodgers. But things get easy again. Colorado, the A's, the Nationals, even Cincinnati at the end of the month, mix the Phillies in there. So running out of time with the season winding down for these guys. And really, I mean, all these games are must win. So I don't know if this is the knockout blow, but to me that loss last night was as brutal as they come, just because all of a sudden you're 2.5 back, and instead now you're 3.5 back, and you lose the momentum and the winning streak, and there's just really no more room for error as you start to count the schedule down. And we're in the final month, and we're starting to get into the final series. You're gonna sweep the Yankees, you're gonna sweep the Phillies. You got to have sweeps, and I think I've said that before. You got to have sweeps if you're really going to be a contender, or just do kind of window dressing to what has been a disappointing season. But lost in yesterday's ending. Jameson Taillon pitched well. Pete Crow-Armstrong, one of the best hustle plays that you'll ever see. One of my favorite plays. He legs out a play at second base where it should have been a double play, and instead he gets there, breaks up the double play, and you score 2 runs, but the bullpen just unable to hold on. And look, the Cubs pitching staff isn't deep. I mean, it just isn't. They've tried to make some moves to help the pitching staff. They traded some guys, this and that. But at the end of the day, this team just is what it is. And, right now it's a second place team in the NL Central, way off the first place pace, 3.5 games back in the National League wild card, and a less than 7% chance to make the playoffs. So they've just got to hope that they go out there and pick it right up where they left off. And the good thing is that the Cubs have won 33 of their last 51 games and 8 of 9 series. So they got to win another series here. They're going to have to beat the Pirates today and tomorrow. Guys, appreciate you so much in the comment section. Keep it coming. We'll be back again tomorrow, or maybe even later today if something breaks. But thanks for hanging with us on the Cubs Baseball channel. Like and subscribe. Thumbs up. Your comments. What'd you think? Would you have pulled Lopez out after the 3-run homer? Would you have found somebody else to go in the 8th inning and try to set up? Is the rest of the bullpen that depleted? I think those are the questions that we're trying to answer right now. But like and subscribe, thumbs up. We'll talk to you in the comments section. And again, go Cubs. As much as this hurts, it's not the end of the road. Just got to get back on the horse and ride tomorrow.